case of Java, we have a class as well as interface. Okay, in case of classes, normal simple class, okay, we create in Java. We can create variables. Okay, they can be static, okay, non-static, okay, final, okay, and non-final, not final. Okay, they can be anything. Then we can have methods also. Methods again, we have static methods, non-static methods. Okay, as well as same goes final and not final methods, right? But over here you have seen a different, or I would say you have seen that methods are implemented. When you say methods implemented means method definition is there. Okay, method definition is there. Method name or signature is there, and then you define the logic. You write the logic for method. Okay, that happens in case of class. In case of interface with variables, okay, with variables, we have okay over here I have mentioned it. The variables are static and final. Okay, variables are static and final in case of interface, whereas methods are only declared. Okay, methods are only declared, not defined, as in logic part is not present in case of interface. But then what is the meaning of having methods without definition? So in that case we have a class which implements interface, okay, and then this particular class has this particular method, okay, interface method, okay, implemented in the class itself. Okay, this way. So methods are only declared in case of interface, but they are defined, okay, at the class level. And methods are also like they are called as abstract. Okay, methods are abstract, and yeah. So let me show you the example of interface by creating an interface. And you don't have to create an interface in Java or WebDriver, okay, but WebDriver actually is an interface, so you need to understand what is an interface. Okay, even when we discuss about collections, okay, we are going to talk and hear about this term interface. So at that time you should be very much clear with the interface. And we have also discussed about multiple inheritance in Java can be achieved with the help of interface. So we will understand that point. So actual usage or practical usage of interface, you are not going to create an interface, but definitely you will be using a predefined interface. Okay, and you may based on your requirement you can create an interface also, not an issue with that. Okay, but as of now I have not seen creation of interface. Sure. So I'll say I've selected Java Basics. I'll go with file. Okay, and I'll go with new and then interface. Okay, so you can see package, class, and then there is an option of interface. So I will select interface. Okay, there is no object class which is having interface as a superclass. Okay, or you can say object is not uh, superclass of this interface, right? So interface is different and class is different. Okay, now I have to give a name to the interface. So what I'll say interref A. Okay, let's interref, and just so interface A got created. Now I'll say integer I equals 10. Fine. See, you can see I like got italic. Okay, and when you mouse over on it, you can see S and F over there. So S stands for static, F stands for final. Okay, if you want to change the value of okay I, Java is going to give you an error. Okay, Java is going to give you an error. Okay, you actually can't do that part. So this I is nothing but a final variable, and to access I, you can access with the interface name only. Okay, so I'll say interf a dot I equals 19. Okay, and you can see there is an error. It says syntax error on token this variable declared id id expected to this token. uh, this is something. Okay, different way I have to access it. Interface dot. mm, so I cannot actually access it over here because there is no block. Probably interf say interf a dot. Yeah, now I can access it because there was no block. Okay, and then you are getting an error. The interface you cannot define initialize. Okay, so we cannot initialize it. Okay, we cannot have initializer over here. So basically, you need to understand that whatever variable you create in case of interface, it is nothing but a static and a final variable. And method, if you say public void display, okay. And generally, we have to write this signature and then we write this curly braces. But now you are going to get an error saying that abstract methods do not specify a body. So this is the body of the method which you don't have to specify. Okay, this is nothing but an abstract method. Okay, this method is called as abstract method. Method which is not having a body is an abstract method, and you can write, okay, the keyword abstract over here. Okay, this is a keyword in Java. Even though if you don't write this particular keyword, okay, still this method will be an abstract. Java will understand this method as an abstract because interface does not allow, or interface has a abstract method only. But there is an exception to it. Okay, you can have a method with default as a keyword. Okay, wherein you can define a body. So default public void, and say let's say show, and then you can have a body. Okay, and I'll say sys out. This is a default method of interface A. So this default actually came from Java 8 onwards. Okay, Java 8 onwards, we can actually have default method created. Okay, previous to Java 8, like Java 7, Java 6, we actually cannot create any method in interface with the body. But then you can have this keyword default. Okay, and then you can write a body also of a method, right? So we have created an interface with display method and show method. Okay, let me comment this part right now. And what I'll do, I'll create a class now. I'll create a simple class. I'll say class A. So inheritance happens at this level also. Okay, inheritance happens between a class and an interface also. So when I say inheritance, we used to write extends as a keyword between parent and child class. So child class extends parent. That is how we used to write. But over here in case of interface, okay, we have to write implements. So class A implements interf A, that is interface A. So we are writing implements because we have to implement all the methods of interface in this particular class. Right now you are getting an error line over here beneath this class. So when I mouse over on it, okay, you can see there are two quick fixes available. Add unimplemented methods, and the error is the type class A. This is a type, okay, class. It must implement the inherited abstract method. So what is the abstract method? Display. So you can see inherited. Okay, so there is an inheritance between this interface and class, and you are inheriting an abstract method, and you should implement it where? At a class level. That is what this error says. So just apply or just click on this, and you can see this portion came up. You can remove this part, and you can say sysout display method, okay, implemented in class A. This way we can say this way, right? Similarly, we can have another class created. Okay, we can have another class created, and I'll say class B. Okay, main method finish, and we can have, okay, we'll say implements interref A. Okay, again add an implemented method display, control D, control D, sys out, and I'll say display method in class B. Okay, and I have to call this display method also. So for calling a method, we have to create an object of a class. So I will say cb equals new class B, okay, and then cb dot display. Okay, let me run this code, and you can say display method in class B. And over here also the same thing I have to do, calling this method. So I have to call with the help of object. So class A, C, C A equals new class A, okay, C dot display. So what we have done over here, we have created an interface, we have created a display method. So we have just created the signature. We have declared it, not defined. Where we are defining? At the class level. So this particular class is having another definition. Okay, it can have another definition, and this particular class can have another definition of this display method, right? So this can be actually done, okay, in a better way. I have actually mentioned it over here. Over here, I think. See, so car is an interface. We can have car as an interface. Earlier we took car as a class, so we can have car as an interface, and acceleration method defined, which is nothing but an sorry, declared, which is nothing but an abstract method. Then class, okay, implements car. Okay, this is a commercial car. Okay, this is one segment, this is another segment, and this is another segment of cars. So we have categorized the cars: commercial, sports, and SUV. So this particular car class is implementing car interface. This is a class which implements car interface. So this method has to be implemented over here in this particular class. The implementation is with the speed increased by 2, right? Now whatever be the cars, okay, of commercial, they will be extending this particular car, and they will be having this acceleration. Similarly, sports is a class. Sports car is a class which is implementing, sorry, which is implementing car interface. So acceleration method has to be implemented over here in sports car, and the implementation part is having speed increased by 4. Now whatever different sports car I am having, like Ferrari or another sports car 1, sports car 2, they would be having this particular acceleration method inherited with the help of this extends keyword. So class, okay, class Ferrari extends sports car. Now sports car is having the implementation of acceleration, right? This particular structure I am explaining, guys, and the same thing is happening in the WebDriver also. In case of WebDriver, the WebDriver actually is an interface. Okay, how they have created WebDriver is an interface. Okay, there are some specific methods in it. Then we are having remote WebDriver. Okay, a remote WebDriver as a class. This is nothing but a class. Okay, right now you just understand it. Okay, need not to cram or remember. You can learn this later on with experience. Okay, but you should understand or relate things. That is the reason I'm explaining. Okay, so remote WebDriver is a class, okay, which is implementing all the methods of WebDriver. Then we are having different classes. Okay, we are having different classes like Chrome driver. Okay, we are having another class that is Firefox driver. This is also a class. We are having Edge driver. So all the browser, okay, would be having their respective driver class. Chrome driver, Firefox driver, Edge driver, Safari driver, okay, Opera driver. All the browser would be as a class mentioned. So this particular class is extending remote web driver. That means whatever method you have declared over here, they have been implemented in remote WebDriver, and those methods which are implemented, they are actually accessible over here in Chrome driver, Firefox, and Edge driver. So this is an internal structure they have created, and that is the reason we need to understand this concept of interface very well. Fine. So this notepad I'll share with you guys later on. Okay. So this is a basic portion, and one more thing I need to tell. There are other things also, okay, wherein we cannot actually instantiate interface. Okay, even interface does not have a constructor. So why constructors are not created interface, right? The reason I have given over here, constructor is used to initialize non-static variables, whereas interface is having a static variable. All the variables are static in nature. Okay, so for non-static variables we have to create an object, isn't it? To initialize non-static variables we have to create an object, and constructor is actually to initialize non-static variables. So object is created with the help of constructors only. Okay, so that is the reason. Okay, that is the reason interface does not have a constructor. Okay, so that is one of the reasons. There is a difference between abstract class. Abstract class I'll take up later on, not right now. Okay, so these rules you have to remember. Okay, later on you can read, go through this part. Okay, and it will take some time to understand all these concepts. Okay, once you complete this entire course, go through this part again, theoretical part again, and you will remember. Okay, this is not a one-day job because everything is interrelated with each other. So once you clear each and everything, and like 100% you have digested each and everything, like what is static, non-static. If in the middle of night, if anyone asks you what is static, you are able to explain. At that point of time, you can understand all these things very clearly. Okay, for that you have to go and do more of reading part. So okay, so what I was trying to explain from this point was that we can have written this portion. I have written this portion like class B constructor, and the instance, okay, the instance of this constructor I'm storing in that particular class only. But we can understand that interface A is nothing but a parent, and this is a child, because we are having an inheritance over here, isn't it? There is an inheritance. So this is a parent and this is a child. So I can write this way also. Interf A. Okay, I can write this way also. So the instance which this class B constructor is returning, I'm storing in the parent. Okay, parent can store because parent is this is nothing but a child. So child instance can be stored in this part, right? So this particular way we can write, and this is a very important line to remember, guys. Okay, because later on what we are going to do is, okay, we are see we have I have mentioned you right how to create an object. So in our case, Chrome driver is a class. So if I create an object of Chrome driver, new Chrome driver, while explaining constructor, guys, I have explained this part, that this particular line, okay, is going to open Chrome browser, okay. But instead of writing this line this particular way, we can write this way also: WebDriver wg equals new Chrome driver. Okay, this way also we can write. I'll explain you later on when we start with our WebDriver portion why we have to write this particular way. Generally, we create an object with this way only: class name, object equals new class constructor. But we have to store the instance of this class in WebDriver portion. Okay. So this portion, this part, you can relate it over here. So this way we can write. Clear? Now, the last and most important part of related to interface is multiple inheritance. Okay, that will finish up our interface portion. So let me say I'll create another class. Just a minute. Class main method. Now we have seen that when you create a class, and once a class inherits another class, okay, this becomes a parent class, okay, and this is a child class, right? So we write keyword as an extends, isn't it? We write this way. The same apply, okay, this is a parent class and this is a child class. Now the same happens in case of interface also. So interface 1, okay, interface 2. We will be writing extends only as a keyword between them also. Okay, so we can have this kind of relationship also between interfaces. But when we are having class and interface relationship, so class, okay, and then interface, we have just seen what we write over here. We write implements because class is implementing all the methods of interface, right? So you have to remember, between two classes there is an extends, between two interfaces there is extends, okay, and between class and interface there is implements. Okay, now let's understand there is one interface, and there is another interface. Class C. So we have class C which implements interface 1 comma interface 2. We can have this one. A class can implement multiple interfaces. That is perfectly fine. but with extends it will be only one interface or one class only. Okay, this. Now let's understand our program. So we have class C as the implement. Why I'm not able to see interface B? I'm not created interface B. Okay, let me create interface B as well. Now what I'll do, I'll create a default method of default public void display. Say for example, sysout display method of interface B. Okay, display method of interface B. And then let me say over here also, I'll comment this portion right now. I'll say, but okay, I'm going to get error. So I'll give another name, show. Okay, interface. Okay, this is default method of interface A, and this is default method. This is display default method of interface B. Perfectly fine. Now I can replace. I can remove this part also. This is perfectly fine. Let's say okay. Fine. So what I have done, I have created two interfaces, interface A and interface B. Let's understand this way, interface A and interface B. And then there is class C. Keep it over here. So we have interface A, which is having display method, and one default method that is show, which is having a body. We are having another interface, interface B, having a default method show. Okay, so the name of the method are same in both interface A and interface B, and both are default. I have written the definition of us over there. Now when I am saying okay, class C implements interface A and interface B, then okay, then comes the concept of multiple inheritance. So we are doing an inheritance over here, and we are having show method and show method interface B and interface A. So again, for Java, which method should be called? So in that case, Java gives you option. There are two quick fixes available. Either override default method of interface A, or you have the other option, override default method of interface B. So select any one of them. Okay, so that particular method is going to get called with this line, interface A dot super dot show. Now this super actually is a keyword for parent class. Okay, that way. So you just have to remember this is how multiple inheritance can be solved in case of Java with the help of interface. There is one more issue. We have to add unimplemented methods because display method is there, which has to be implemented because it's an abstract method. So we have to click on it, add an implemented methods, and we can write some implementation. We can say sys out, okay, display method implemented, display method implemented. That's it. You can delete this direct override. Fine. So this is the line, okay, which actually uh, makes multiple inheritance possible in Java. So we have interface A, interface B having show method common in both of them. But when we are saying class C, okay, which implements interface A and interface B, in that case, Java is going to give you an option whether you want to implement or whether you want to inherit show method from interface A or show method from interface B. Okay, and then accordingly it will be fine. Where I'm getting okay, fine. So this is how multiple inheritance is possible in Java. This completes entire portion. Still there are some points, but I'm not going to take it up as of now. But this is more than sufficient from an interview point of view, guys, to understand interface. Okay, it's a very long topic. Okay, interfaces having different variations and different things to be discussed, but I'll keep up till this point. This is very much important, whatever I have told you regarding interface. Okay, these are very important topics or points to understand. Okay, when you go into industry for automation, okay, these fundamentals they are definitely going to judge you on. Okay, so this completes our interface portion.